Everyone, today I'm going to do an updated palette collection video. If you're interested in the makeup I'm wearing, there should be a tutorial up on my channel. I think I'm going to upload it for this. So if you guys are interested, and if you want to see any tutorials or looks or recreations with these palettes, just let me know and I'll be happy to do them for you. I'm going to start with Colourpop because that's what I have the most of by far. Like, this is my Colourpop stack, and that doesn't include my singles. That's going to be separate. But this is my Colourpop stack. It's 80% of my collection. So I'm just gonna go like in order of size from each brand. So I'm gonna start with the Colourpop Pretty Much palette. This is a 6-pan palette. I don't think it was one of their first palettes. I think it came out after Double Entendre because it was Yes Please, Double Entendre, and I think then there was 2 of these little ones. I think one was called At Home or Home something. But this one is called Pretty Much, and I bought this. I have the dates on the back of most of my palettes. I should say some, now I don't do it. But this was from June 2018 when I bought it, and it was already discontinued when I bought it. I bought it secondhand. It was brand new, but I bought it secondhand. This is what it looks like. As you can tell, I really like this color. It's actually one of my favorite cool tone transition shades, and I haven't been able to find one exactly like it. But yeah, this is a beautiful palette. I've used it so many times. It doesn't look like I have a huge dent, but these aren't super powdery like their current formula. This formula wasn't as powdery, so it lasted longer, in my opinion. So the 9-pan palettes I'm gonna do kind of like in color order. So I'm gonna start with green. So I have Mint to Be. And it looks like this. This one's a little more powdery. This definitely the shade in the corner is. I've used it a lot, but there's a huge dent in there. This is Just My Luck. And this one I've actually used a ton, and there's not as many dips as in the Mint to Be. I think the formula wasn't as powdery in this one. This was my first 9-pan I got. This one's new to my collection, On Cloud Blue. I think this was my last palette purchase from a store. I have a palette I purchased secondhand, but this was my last palette purchase that I made from a retailer when it came out. So it was a few months ago now, but it looks like this. I'm not huge into blue eyeshadow because sometimes it can look like a little much on me. I prefer green and purple. Even pink. I'm not really a huge fan of pink either. It doesn't look great. So I do have a pink palette though. I have Cloud Spun. I bought it at the same time that I bought On Cloud Blue. I've used the glitter in here too. This one, I haven't used the blue one, I don't think, but I'm very careful when I use it. Really pretty palette. I'm just not a huge fan of pinks on myself. I have to be in a certain mood. Maybe I can use it like as an accent, like maybe a inner corner look, or like just an under eye look, maybe. Okay, so next I have Lilac You a Lot. One of my favorite palettes, along with Just My Luck. I love purples and greens. Mint to Be is nice, but it's not like my favorite. It's My Pleasure, which I haven't used in a while. I told myself I was going to use it in the next few days, and I haven't. But I do really like this palette. It's a beautiful palette. And then I have That's Taupe, which is actually in their cardboard packaging. And this is their cool toned 9-pan palette. I really like this one. Every time I do neutral look on myself, I never feel like it's too much or it doesn't look right. And I have Golden Coconuts, but I don't have a ton of like neutral palettes. I have a few. This one's like a mid-tone neutral. Not quite cool or warm. So then I'm gonna go with my 12-pan palettes. I have Sailor Moon. This one is, I think, my favorite 12-pan palette. I have pretty significant dips in some of the shades. I do really like this one. I also really like this palette as well. It's the At Foresight, the Raw Beauty Christine one. I've used it probably like 6 or 7 times since I got it. It's still fairly new to my collection. Actually, this is newer than the On Cloud Blue, and I think. I don't remember which one came out first, but I bought them around the same time. I bought this when it came out. Then I had You Have Me at Hello. This one I actually bought secondhand fairly recently because I really wanted it. And this is more of a neutral palette leaning cool tone. And I actually really like this palette. It still performs very well. It's definitely not as powdery as their current formula, so I do think they changed their formula over the years. I have the Are Cutie Palette. This is from Ulta. I got on clearance. It's another purple palette, which I love purples. This one leans more pink, so it's not as much my favorite, but I do still like it. And then this pan, like, this shadow has like weird hard pan on it for some reason, but the rest of them look fine. I don't know. It's not that old. And then I have the My Little Pony palette, and I got this in May 2018, and I bought it secondhand. But I switched out some of the shades in here. I really do not remember which ones originally came in this, but this is what mine looks like right now. Then I have the Double Entendre palette. I bought this in April of 2018 from Colourpop's website. I think it's these 5 shades. They're not from it. They're from the Element of Surprise palette. This is what it looks like. I do still use it like this. I just didn't want so many repetitive colors. Then I have the Yes Please, the original one that does not say Yes Please on the front. If you get it now, it does say Yes Please. Also, the names are not printed inside this one or that last palette I showed you. And I bought them both the same time from Colourpop. It's before they put the names inside though. And you can tell this one is well used. It's disgusting, this packaging though. It's so bad. There's no way of keeping it clean. I've tried. And then I have the Colourpop So Jaded. I haven't felt the urge to buy any of the other big palettes, but this one I do really like. But I did rearrange it, and I do have one shade that's different. I switched out a dark, it was a really dark blue black for the shade from the Colourpop Baroque palette. It's the only shade I kept. I don't remember what it was called. It was the middle shade though. But yeah, I rearranged it so it's in color order. This is from a BH Cosmetics palette you'll see later that I depotted. But yeah, that's what mine looks like. So there's a brown row, green, blue, purple, red, and yellowy orange. And this is more appealing to my eye and easier for me to use than how it was originally set up. Next, I'm going to go on to Tarte because I have 3 Tarte palettes. This one is from June 2017. I think this is my oldest, or one of my oldest palettes. This is the Tartelette in Bloom. It looks like this on the inside. I'm really a big fan of cool tone eyeshadow, so I do like this one a lot. This was from February 2018, and this is the Make Believe in Yourself palette. I've used this one a lot too. I don't reach for a ton, but I love the shimmers in here. The only reason I don't reach for it is because there's only the one matte. Usually usually I don't think about it when I'm making a look with mattes from another palette to grab one of those shimmers. Even though I do really enjoy them, I just don't think about it. Then I have the Be a Mermaid and Make Waves. I bought this as soon as it came out. I think it was March of 2018. I could be wrong. Whenever it came out, because I wanted it for the packaging. I saw this packaging, I'm like, I need to buy it because I'm obsessed with mermaids. And just like the coloring is so pretty on it. It's really like luxe feeling. I mean, some people think it's childish, but I like it. And I do really like the shadows inside. Bubbles is such a pretty blue purple duochrome. And Lagoon's really pretty as well, but it's covered with red shadow there. But obviously I really like this palette. I've used the mattes the most because there's only 3 mattes in this palette. So that's what I have pan on, but I have used the shimmers a lot as well. Next I have BH Cosmetics. I have 2 palettes from BH Cosmetics. I used to have more, but I ended up decluttering them because I just have too much eyeshadow. So I just haven't been buying a lot recently because I'm like, I don't really need it. I have to use what I have, and I've been keeping track on a list of like what I use and when I use it so that I actually get around to using all of my collection. I do have one more palette coming in. It's called from Shroud Cosmetics. It's Freaking Bats palette that came out in October. I ordered in October and it still isn't here yet. So I'm excited to get it. It's been a very long process. So but I've been waiting on that one. This is the Daisy Marquez palette. It had that mint green shade in that I put in the So Jaded. The packaging broke apart, so I just put it into this Colourpop magnetic palette, and I put little magnets on the back because I do still really like this palette. It's very pretty. I don't use it a ton, but I do like it. This is my favorite BH Cosmetics palette I've ever had and probably will ever have. This is the BH Cosmetics Festival palette, Weekend Festival palette. This is the first one. They had a few. I think they had 3. I could be wrong. Beautiful palette. Still works so well. Definitely recommend if it's still available. I don't think it is, but I do recommend it. I have 2 things from Kat Von D, which is now KVD Vegan Beauty. These are from December 2017, and they were gifts, so they were purchased a long time ago. So, and they weren't purchased by me. Just to make that clear. But this is what this one looks like. Oh, let me tell you what it is. This is the Metal Crush palette. I do really like this. I used to really be into these glittery highlighters, so I used it a lot. I don't use it as often now, but it is still very pretty. And then if you want this palette, it's like $5 at TJ Maxx. It definitely was like $5 when I got it, but now it's $5. And this is the Alchemist palette. I do really like this too, but I don't use it often. It's a transformative palette. So like each of these has an undertone and you have to put it over a different shade to see that undertone. It's very pretty though. It looks great over dark eyeshadow. Like if you do black and then put that, it looks beautiful. Okay, so next are all the palettes I have one of that brand. So I have Violet Voss Essentials 2. This was given to me as a gift. I do like it, it's just I have tons of colors like this, so I've only used it a few times. The looks I've done with it, I really like. This purple is beautiful. These 2 and this green, blue. Very pretty. Then what I used on my eyes today is the Menagerie Cosmetics Pastel Pup. And I bought this when it came out originally because I'm obsessed with baby harp seals. And that's what's on the front cover of this. They're like the cutest animal on the planet. Look at that. The packaging is so cute. I couldn't get over it. These are so powdery. Like they get all over the place, but they are really pretty. It's all pastels and one like multi-chrome down here. Super beautiful. I bought the singles of the other ones as well. I'll show you later. Yeah, you can see there's so many dips in here, and that's just because it's super powdery. I didn't use it a lot too, but yeah. This is the only Juvia's Place palette I have left. I ended up getting rid of my others. It's the Magic Mini. Only because I wasn't using them a lot. The quality was still great. I just didn't reach for them. And this one I don't reach for a ton either, but I do really like it. The shimmers are so amazing. This palette's old. I have no idea how old it is. Probably 3 or 4 years old. I bought it for $10 and it is great. Like fantastic. You gotta be careful with some of the mattes. If you use a base, they end up being a little patchy. I do it without a base and they look fine. This is what it looks like. Great palette. If it still exists, you should get it. I think it has square pans now, or they use square pans now, but this was only $10. And every time I wear it, I get compliments. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to get nice makeup. This is my most recent purchase. This is the neutral palette. It's the Too Faced Natural Lust. And the reason I got this is I'm doing makeup for my best friend's sister's wedding. And I didn't have any like large neutral palettes to use. And I didn't want to bring like 4 or 5 different palettes. I figured I'd get one, and it'd be one I use for myself too. But so I got this, and I got it on Mercari for I think like $23. You can get it at TJ Maxx for $30. That's where I originally saw it. But yeah, it looks like this. I've already used it like 2 or 3 times. It's so pretty, but it's just a neutral palette. But this is exactly what I need, so that's why I bought it. I have 2 of these Tarte magnetic palettes. This one's the one from the Mermaid collection. You can like put the glitters up, I mean the sequins up and down. So you can make it black or the green, blue. It's like that on both sides. Most of these singles are Colourpop. I have some Coastal Scents, and then I had a Are Beauty palette that I took apart also. So that's my singles. I don't dip into them a ton, but I do still really like them. And then this is my other Tarte palette. I love these Tarte palettes. I think they're great quality for the price. I think I paid like $15 each, but they were great. So I have, these are highlighters from BH Cosmetics on the bottom. They're a combination of 2 different palettes. These are 2 from Are Beauty that wouldn't fit in the other one. And these are my 3 like multi-chrome shades from Menagerie Cosmetics that are similar to that shade Snowball and the Pastel Pup, but they came separate. I would have preferred them to be in the palette and they make it like 1 row longer, because I don't reach for them as much because they're not in the palette. So yes, that's it. If I seemed like I was talking fast, I was really trying to get through it quickly so it's not a long video, because I don't have like in my opinion, I don't have a huge palette collection. So I didn't want it to be too long of a video for you guys. And I was considering doing a whole makeup collection in one video, but I originally filmed it and it was like over an hour long. So I'm just gonna film it as sections. Hopefully that would interest you guys more, so I can talk about each product and like slight opinions on each product. So it's not just, here's the product, look at it. Here's the product, look at it. Like I wanna talk about each product. So I'll have like highlighters, blushes. I'll probably put bronzers in with one of those so I don't have a ton. And we'll go from there. So yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed to my channel. I am not consistent with uploading, but I try to when I can. So if you have any requests for videos, just let me know down below. I will take them into consideration, especially if you want a tutorial with any of these palettes. Just let me know. And that's it. Have a good day, everyone. Bye.